Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another YouTube video and another tips and tricks video. I just slipped with my elbow right there. That was embarrassing. But yeah, I'm gonna give you guys 10 tips today that will hopefully help you guys when playing Drug Dealer Simulator. These tips are a little bit for beginners, but there might be some things in here that you, as a um, guy playing this game very often, could have very good use of. So we'll just dive in right here with the first step. The first tip is 80% of your drug in the mix. That means, just gonna put some light in here. That means no matter what drug you're doing a mix of, add 80% of drugs. So if let's say you're doing an amphetamine mix, use 80% amphetamine and 20% of something differently. That could be baking soda, Viagra, ibuprofen, salt, you choose. It's all up to you. But 80% seems to keep everyone happy. If you want to keep it on the if you want to be absolutely sure you get no complaints, use 85%. But 80% should work for every single drug: amphetamine, heroin, ecstasy, cocaine, weed, everything. Okay? That's the biggest advice I can give you guys. You'll save a ton of money. Because I've heard a lot of people using like 90% or 50% and then wonder why people are complaining. So 80% is like the benchmark of when they're satisfied. Tip number 2, buy a house. So as you can see here, I have a house. I have a house in Sector A, and I'm currently paying off a house in Sector B. I'm not going to show you guys that though. The reason you should buy a house is you have so much space. So look at this. I have everything downstairs because I have ADHD, so I can't comprehend doors and stuff. But here you have one room. If you go upstairs, you have another room. And here I've made this a bathroom, but this is just a normal room. And this is my bedroom. So yeah, there are 4 different rooms in your house that you can use to make weed, to make pretty much whatever the fuck you want. Sorry for swearing, but buying a house is so much worth it. You can have like a weed operation going in here, and a bunch of other stuff happening in the other rooms. So it's very much worth buying a house. I'm not quite sure if it's worth buying a house in every single sector, but at least buying one is definitely worth it. Tip number 3, don't buy a garage. And I will show you guys what I mean. If we go to, what's his name? Mike Byers. View hideout renting offers. This is the first apartment that you get. Here is a garage. Don't buy them. There is so little rooms. As you can see here, there's 31 square meters of room. There's not that room at all. You can't save either. I know they're cheap, and you can buy them to raise the respect in an area, but it's honestly not worth it because you can't save. There's not that much room. So yeah, don't buy a garage. Yeah, it's not worth it. Number 4, have one lab for every single drug that you use. So every single drug that you sell, have one lab for each. So for example, me, I sell cocaine, ecstasy, weed, and heroin. And I have one lab for each. So here is my weed lab. I'm not going to show you guys all of them. But here's my weed lab. Show you guys my ecstasy lab. Here is my ecstasy lab. He actually have some ecstasy for me. But I'll leave him to make more. So yeah. Have one lab for every drug you sell. It's worth it. You'll save so much money that way. And of course, when you've come far into the story mode, you'll have no choice. And I will not tell you guys why, because that will be a spoiler. Yeah, number 5. Give free samples. This is a very basic thing, but I've heard that not that many do it. Let's see if we're able to find a opportunity to give out a free sample. Yeah, here he is. I just hope the cops will leave me alone. I don't have any drugs on me, but yeah, do you see this question mark? You go talk to stranger, and then here I have a free present for you.
Hey, you!
And
stop right there.
Yeah,
Don't try anything stupid.
I am gonna show you guys exactly what I mean when these guys have stopped harassing me.
Alright, off you go.
So yeah, talk to stranger, and then say, here I have a free present for you, and then when you have drugs, just give it to them, and that will basically make them reach out to you. So if you give them, let's say, a gram of weed, they will contact you in a couple of days on the I can't remember what it's called, but they will contact you. Shadycom, I think it's called. They will contact you on Shadycoms and want a couple of grams, but that's the best way to gain clients. All right, and only give them 1 gram with free samples. Don't give them 2, 5, or 20. It's a waste of money. Give them only 1 gram. Yeah, and number 6. This is one that's very recent that I've thought about, is have at least 1 laptop in every sector. This should be a very basic thing, but a lot of you guys only have 1 laptop in sector A, for example. Some people say that you should have 1 laptop in every hideout, and if you have the money for it, go for it. If you have the money for it, it's definitely worth it. You don't have to go back and forth from different places. So having 1 in every single hideout is worth it if you have the money. If you don't have the money, 1 in every sector is enough. All right. Baking soda is your friend. Tip number 7. Baking soda have 1 negative thing and a bunch of good things. The negative thing about baking soda is that it doesn't get anyone addicted. And getting people addicted is good because you want them to come back and keep buying more and more and more. Baking soda doesn't do that. However, what it doesn't harm them. It doesn't harm people in any way. If you compare that to, for example, salt will drag humidity of the drug, which will then make it a bit weaker than it should have been. So if you have to use salt, then do, but I would say use baking soda or sugar. Preferably baking soda. Yeah, this is a thing for the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, you have to do this, but when it comes to like the middle of the story, this is something you should think about. Don't put money in the ATM. That's one thing they tell you in the game as well, but don't do that because you'll get IRS up your ass if you do that too much. If you put in money, take away money. If you do that too much, you'll get IRS up your ass. So put the money in laundering businesses as fast as you can. As soon as you unlock them, you just knock on the door. You have to knock a couple of times before they open. And then search drawer. And then put in your preferred amount. And then just escape. Wait a couple of seconds. And then you up in the right corner, you see how much money you were added. And this will be taxed up into your account. No worries at all. Number 9. Always pay Eddie. This is of course at the start of the game and at the middle of the game. Always pay him. If you take drugs for an amount of $1,200, as soon as you make $1,200, pay him. Because if you don't, he will be very mad at you. It'll take a couple of days before he does get mad at you, but trust me, you don't want that to happen. You don't want to fuck with the cartel. So pay Eddie as soon as you can. Yeah, and if you're chased by the cops, this is something I always do. Right now, I have, as you can see here, I have full skills, so I can run away from the cops very, very easily. But if you don't, they're gonna catch up to you. So the best thing you could do when you're running away, hold B, drop the backpack, and even if they catch you, you can just come back to where you dropped the backpack, pick it up, and have all the stuff in there. No one will steal the backpack, nothing will disappear from the backpack, everything will be in there, as it was. So that's very good for at the beginning of the game when you don't have that much stamina and the police are a bit faster than you. So always drop your backpack. So yeah, these have been a couple of beginner's tips for 10 beginner tips, and I will try and do one a bit more advanced tips. If you have any ideas for some tips that I should add, let me know. I will add them. But yeah, so I will go through these again real quick. 80% of your drugs in the mix. So amphetamine, do 80% amphetamine and 20% of baking soda and ibuprofen, for example. Ibuprofen and Viagra make people addictive, so use those with caution. Use them enough so they get addicted and come back, but not too much as they die. Buy a house to get more storage, to grow your own weed. For example, me, I used to, I always forgot watering the plants, but it's very good for someone with a good memory. To have one room in your house with weed, and then have a weed lab, because you get double the amounts. And weed seeds are extremely cheap, so it's definitely worth it. Don't buy a garage because you can't store that much in there and you cannot save from there. Not worth it in my opinion. Have one lab for every drug you use. One for ecstasy, one for weed, etc., etc. Give free samples to NPCs with a question mark on their head, above their heads. It's how you get clients in the beginning of the game. Have one laptop, at least one in every sector. If you have enough money, have one in every single hideout. Use baking soda for your mixes. They are your friend. They will not kill anyone. They will not harm the drug in any way. They will only help. don't put money in the ATM, you will have IRS up your ass. So as soon as you progress in the game and the laundering business are available, use them. Always pay Eddie. As soon as you get enough money to pay him straight away. You don't want to beef with him, I promise you. And if you're in a chase with the police, drop your backpack. So yeah, that was 10 tips and tricks about. I'm sorry. That was 10 tips and tricks for beginners in Drug Dealer Simulator 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. And like I said, if you have any other tips for an upcoming video, let me know down in the comments down below. And until then, I really hope you guys are having an amazing time. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in my next video. I will try, before I finish, I will try to make a more proper YouTube videos and not just full VODs from Twitch. So I'm going to try to make more YouTube videos for you guys. Let me know what you're interested let me know what you're interested in, and I'll try and give that to you. Yeah. But until then, take care, peace, and bye.